thank you for waking us all up out here, for all you do.
Thank you for giving us a voice.
For being out there helping to keep the constitutional republic.
I want to thank you for
your support for veterans in the military.
Educating us.
Standing up for conservatism.
Giving us the truth.
Daybreak with Drew Steele.
Well, one thing is for sure, somebody knows what it's like to be in sub-degree temperatures and have to deal with all of that, and at the same time be in a place far, far away from Southwest Florida, and have to deal with some of the heat going on with the politics of the day. That would be Congressman Byron Donalds, who I believe was in Iowa. And was there during all the cold and the and the caucusing and everything else going on. So I would love to talk to him about that as he's joining us right now, among other things, on Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. First of all, good morning. How are you? The people that I worry about when it comes to the bigger issues, the ones that could spoil some things when it comes to legislation or things that you are trying to do, honest brokers, if you will, in discussions of whether it's the voting process or whether it is legislating or even issues along the border. And I say this because I was disappointed to see a Republican representative on Fox yesterday with Brett Baier, who was talking with a Democrat and calling for legalization for illegals in this country who have been here for more than 5 years, and a Republican taking that position. And, you know, I worry about the process of people trying to come up with these quote unquote solutions before they fix the real issue that's at hand. In other words, you don't put in a new carpet in a house that has a leaky roof. You fix the roof. And until you fix the roof, you can't do anything else. So even the discussion of doing this, I guess it bothers me because they're not being honest brokers. The issue is what's happening with the flooding of our border, and that has to stop, period, full stop, for anything else to take place. Does that make sense?
Welcome to Congress, Drew.
Okay.
I'm just going to tell you.
Do I get paid? Because this is nice.
No, sorry, you don't get paid.
Thanks.
Southwest Florida has one congressman.
Okay.
Anyway, I mean, look, here's the deal. You're absolutely correct. We could fix the problem immediately. Joe Biden can do it today. But they won't, because they want this. There was a graphic I saw yesterday that total encounters at the southern border during President Trump's 4 years was like 2.4 million. Through Joe Biden's 3 years, it's 6.9 million.
Yeah.
Like 3 years.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievably insane. And it's only because they want it this way. Look, so, you know, the mayors, it's like a mayor's conference in town. And so they're from all over the country. And I know a bunch of the staff for a bunch of mayors from when I was in the state legislature and all the time I've been in politics. And so I know some of the staffs, like on a personal level.
Yeah.
I've talked to them about this immigration problem. They're furious, but they can't say anything publicly. I mean, I'm telling you, this is. But then when you have members of our party as a Republican who are openly saying this sounds bad, but you're letting the Democrats off the hook. They are the ones that caused this problem. You have to make them fix the issue before you start talking about anything else. And I'm just telling you right now, Drew, I don't know who that was on Fox, but that is the vast majority opinion of House Republicans. We are not going to take the Senate's deal. The Senate's deal is trash.
And that's
what in the House.
Right, but that's what I don't like. I just have to be honest with you. I don't like when there are Republicans who are getting a voice, who are suggesting things that we should be doing, like legalization for people in the country more than 5 years, because business is saying that we need these hands on deck and that this is what we have to do. So basically just acquiesce to what is going on, and that's just the end all be all. And I didn't hear anything in the conversation about stopping what has to be stopped first. That's what bothers me is this, all that other talk is for another day. The day is now to stop this.
There is, in D.C., there is this ugly word up here. It's not an ugly word. It's a bad word. It's called governing. And up here, you have Republicans who say that the only way to show you can govern is to come to these funky compromises with the Democrats and their radical positions. And so you have a larger group of us up here who's saying, that's not governing, that's capitulation.
Right.
The Democrats do not want to come off of their position, which is radical. So you have a compromised position with a radical, and that demonstrates that you can govern? No, it doesn't. What it demonstrates is that you do not have the ability to, one, message to the American people and explain what's going on, and two, showing leadership to fix what's happening.
Yeah.
That's governing. But up here, they'll tell you, oh, well, yes, we have to spend this money because the other side, that's just what they want. And we have to demonstrate that we can govern.
Yeah.
No, we have to demonstrate that we can lead. And if we can demonstrate that, I firmly believe that the American people will see it our way, and we actually will grow our majorities.
I was told that in Iowa, one of the biggest issues, by double digits ahead of the economy, was immigration. That was their biggest issue. Hello, if you're telling me that the grassroots, if you're telling me that the people in Iowa and that are going to caucus, their biggest issue right now, as we speak, is immigration by double digits over the economy, that says so much. And by the way, it was Representative Maria Salazar who was on with with
that makes sense.
with somebody named.
Well, I know what Maria wants to do, Drew. I'm just going to tell you, Maria's plan is dead on arrival.
Yeah, that's
I know what Maria wants to do, and everybody tells her no. So there you go.
But the fact that she gets time, and it's like they're calling it the Bipartisan Dignity Act. Okay, right. Who doesn't want to when it comes to dignity, all these words that are used. It's like, who's against dignity for others? It's like, come on. But anyway, so I digress. Congressman Byron Donalds joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Two other things quickly, the talk of the CR and what's going on, and I know on the Senate side and what's being discussed. And this gets back to another part of what I was talking about, which is, man, do we have to continue to see Republicans in so many ways fold on the issue and be so disingenuous with what we want as opposed to what they do there in Congress? It's another example. And we worry about things getting pushed into March, or, what's going to be included and what feels like just the giving up of any kind of leverage we have with a border issue that people care about immensely, and giving that up. Maybe your thoughts a little bit on what's going on with the CR and some other things.
I mean, look, to be blunt, the CR is happening because Speaker Johnson has negotiated bad deals with the Senate. I remember we were in a conference room a few months ago when he was trying to discuss the first CR, after he became Speaker. Yeah. And, my advice and several others was, let's send a top-line number that House Republicans can unanimously support with funding Israel, funding aid to Israel and paying for it with IRS money. The votes were in the House to do that. And the conversation was, well, what happens with the Senate? And basically it was like, well, Chuck Schumer would reject it. And my response was, good. Yep. Let him reject it. This goes back to the leadership versus governing argument we always have up here. Right. And the purpose was to demonstrate to Chuck Schumer the resolve of the House of Representatives. They're the ones who are asking for money, and we're the ones that have it. We have the power of the purse. Let's actually use our leverage. And the argument I said was that you already, at the time from the debt ceiling deal, we signed into law top-line spending numbers, okay? This was right after the tragedy of October 7th. So if you were going to set up an argument against the Senate to fund the government and take care of our ally responsibly, that was the time to do it. The choice was made to not do that and just to come to an agreement with the Senate. And from that point, Drew, what Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell, because they're working together, I'm just going to tell people right now, what they are doing is they are grinding out the clock to put the speaker into a box. And the speaker has not responded by just walking away from the table and saying no. That's how you get CR deals like this, where you're doing another one. That's how you end up reauthorizing FISA before the end of the year. That's how you get to a situation where you have this Senate compromise, which is a terrible deal on immigration, that the Senate is going to try to jam on the House and then blame the fact that the border didn't get secured on the House. That's how this stuff happens. It's negotiations, Drew. It's not politics. It's not position papers. It's negotiations.
Yeah. All right, Congressman Byron Donalds joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Always appreciate our visits, and I'll see you next week. All right, all the best.
See you, Drew.
Okay, there he goes.